Hey everyone, just wanted to give you a quick heads up. The second Global Product Owner Summit is coming soon. You can get all the details at bit.ly/Product Owner 2024. That's bit.ly/Product Owner 2024. And it's all lowercase, all one word. Oh, and stick with us until the end of the episode to know the dates and the tracks that we have for you in this year's summit. But for now, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday, the Change Leadership episode this week with Lynn Runnels-Moss. Hey, Lynn, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
And we are very happy to have you here, of course, to talk about change. And change is kind of the thing we are working with every single day. We were just talking about that yesterday. If you guys want to go and listen up, we were talking about how sometimes change is required just for teams to keep growing and not disband or quit or whatever that might be the consequence. So check it out, the Tuesday episode. But today we're going to talk about change in a more wider sense. And also we're going to talk about the processes that come with change, the things that help change stick, take hold, and of course evolve the organizations, teams, and even individuals that we work with going through these change processes. So share that story with us, Lynn.
So many years ago, I was working with another large organization, another kind of household name type organization, and they had a very similar problem to many organizations, which is I want the delivery teams to be agile, but that agile stuff, not in the leadership. And this particular organization and this project that we were all working on was a multi-year project with lots of client and contractor relationships. So there were probably about 6 different companies involved in supporting this project, this 2-year project for this big company. And I guess the first lesson for that, and this was relatively early in my Scrum Master career, getting people from different orgs to work together as a single team is hard, all caps hard. If you don't get it right, you will spend all your time firefighting. So that's really hard. The other difficult lesson that I think I learned, and I wish I'd learned it earlier with this organization, a lot of old-fashioned kind of management styles can be really destructive in an agile environment. So in this particular case, the program manager and the overall client project manager kind of used what I call the yelling and embarrassing people method and the CYA method of kind of planning and delivering work. So it was constant conflict. And I should have expected this, right, when I took that role, because the reason that I got the role is because someone said, hey, I need an agile project manager for this project. And they said, oh, what happened to the person who was there? I thought you had someone. They said, yeah, they threw a chair at the client yesterday. And I went, oh, okay.
That's unexpected.
Yes, it was kind of shocking. It didn't take me very long to figure out the motivation for the chair throwing, because sitting in that seat and being yelled at and called on the carpet for things that you didn't even know were going on, it's demoralizing, it's upsetting, it's hard. And I think my overall approach as a kind of agile project manager in that context was the take away their ammunition approach. So what I tried to do was use the shared adversity that all of the people who are working under this in this situation we're dealing with, and let's take away the ammo. Let's not give them a rock to throw at us. And it took about 3 or 4 months, but over time, you could see in meetings that the client project manager was looking for something to shout at us about, but couldn't actually come up with anything because we'd taken all their ammo away. But the lesson that I took from that really is one that I should have learned from Maya Angelou a long time ago. When people show you who they are, believe them. And I will not work for people who behave like that anymore. I just won't. If anything like that happens, I just walk away. It's really demoralizing at every level to kind of exist in that kind of a system. And the kind of straw that broke the camel's back for me, and the reason that I left that position, the program manager asked me to change the Gantt chart for the project, which was a silly Gantt chart anyway, because it was a sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3 in a little like cascade waterfall. And they said, in between each of those sprints is a review of requirements by the client. Can you shrink that elapsed time down to 1 day? And I said, this is an organization of thousands of people. There's no way that anything can get done in a day. He's like, yes, but that makes it their problem and not ours. And I thought, I don't want to work for this person anymore. So I quit that day. It's such a toxic environment when you have that. So that's how not to do it. The other thing that I learned from that organization is you can have agile delivery teams. So the teams that were actually building the software in this case were agile. They were working in Scrum. They were delivering iteratively. They were doing demos every 2 weeks. It was really working well. But with the organization in that state, they were doomed to failure, because anytime anything went wrong, wherever it went wrong, they looked at the delivery team and the delivery team got the blame. So I like to tell the story of the Ever Given. Do you remember the Ever Given? The giant container ship that got stuck in the canal? The Suez Canal?
Yeah. So in the Suez Canal, like this huge container ship, yeah?
Yeah. So everybody remembers this because of one image. So that image of the big ship that's stuck in the mud, and there's a digger, and it's parked underneath the ship, and it's furiously digging out the sand from under the ship. That's a delivery team. But the reason the ship is stuck has nothing to do with the guy running the digger. The ship is stuck because the canal is hundreds of years old and was built for much smaller ships. And the ship was built is too big. It's actually too large for the canal, unless it's perfect conditions. And the reason that it got stuck was a sandstorm. It got blown sideways in a sandstorm. But everybody's staring at that poor little digger and the people furiously digging. You're focusing on the wrong part of the problem.
I can imagine that the captain of that ship probably said to whoever was ordering them to cross the canal that this ain't gonna pass.
Well, the thing is, it had worked for many years. So there's lots of ships that size. It's not the only one. And it worked. And it worked because all of the other variables were constant. As soon as one variable changed, this sandstorm coming through, all of a sudden the whole thing fell apart. And that's lesson 3, which we talked about yesterday a bit as well. Most failures are down to the system, not the individuals working at them. And if you depend on a blame game, it's not only unpleasant and unprofessional, it's completely counterproductive.
Yeah, and eventually it gets people to leave, just like you left.
Yes, eventually you leave. Some sooner than later.
But that's actually a great personal recognition that we all need to go through. Like, what are the environments where we don't allow ourselves to be in anymore, right? Like it's a little bit like self-preservation, but more than that, there's a phrase that I like to use, which is if you're asked to be an asshole at work, you're probably going to be an asshole at home as well. And whatever you learn at work spills into our personal life, whether we like it or not, because we're humans. We copy other people's behaviors. And if you just get exposed long enough to a certain behavior, you will start exhibiting that behavior. So it's also, I would say, an ethical question we should ask ourselves. What kind of system do we allow ourselves to work within?
It's also a well-being issue for me. Having those boundaries, when I started in the workforce many years ago, you kind of did what you were told, and all working environments were equally toxic. That's not true now. And we can, as professionals, choose the kind of environments we're going to create for ourselves and for others. And if enough of us choose not to work in that kind of environment, eventually those environments will have to change because nobody will want to be there. And I choose not to be part of those organizations because I have the privilege of being able to walk away at that time. I had another job that I could easily walk into because I was a contractor at the time. But also it was about my well-being, because being in that was it was so horrible for me physically and emotionally to be in that situation, because I could see how stressed everybody was. And I was trying to, chief cat herder, I was trying to make everybody comfortable. And I just needed that boundary to say enough. And I think we all need to understand where our boundaries are. Is your boundary somebody telling a off-color joke in the office? Is your boundary stopping work at 5 o'clock? Is your boundary not taking calls on the weekends? Where are your boundaries at work? And how stringently will you defend them? Because I promise you, no one's going to defend them for you.
Yeah, they will be crossed unless.
Absolutely.
Lynn, thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Hi there, Agile friends. Thank you for sticking around and listening to the details of the Product Owner Summit, this year's global summit dedicated to a critical Scrum role, the Product Owner role, of course. We'll have some amazing keynotes and 4 tracks filled with first-hand stories and experiences for product owners to learn more about that critical Scrum role. The summit will take place between April 23rd and 25th, so book your calendars. There will be loads of sessions for you to attend. One of the keynotes will be Dave West, the product owner and CEO at Scrum.org, one of the largest Scrum organizations in the world. If you want to know more, check out the details at bit.ly/product owner 2024. That's all one word, all lowercase, bit.ly/product owner 2024. We will also have 4 tracks. The 4 tracks will cover cross-functional product ownership. That's track 1. As Pixar's Ratatouille said, not every idea can be a great idea, but a great idea can come from anywhere. And this quote emphasizes the importance of a product owner being open to all ideas, regardless of the source, and also challenges us to focus on getting good ideas from everywhere and involving the whole team in the product owner role and responsibilities. The second track is Designing Products for Growth, where we explore how to craft products ready for scalable growth, merging practical strategies with innovation. The idea here is to learn to design products for growth, whether it is sales or customer acquisition. The third track is Know Your Users, user-centric approaches for agile development. In this track, we learn to master user-centric techniques in agile development, to deeply understand customer needs and transform insights into meaningful UX designs that focus on engagement and satisfaction. This is a track ideal for innovation-focused agile teams. And the fourth track, one of the most exciting tracks in my opinion, is product development with AI, ideas for product owners. Not only do we discuss about using AI in the products, but also AI for product owners to learn to make a bigger impact with the help of the AI tools that we already have. The Product Owner Summit will also present to you great opportunities to network with your peers. So get your ticket and join our Slack. You can get the ticket and join the Slack at bit.ly/product owner 2024. As always, we have free tickets and also the paid tickets that help to support this podcast. So check them out at bit.ly/product owner 2024. That's all lowercase, all one word, product owner 2024. I'll see you in the summit floor.